In the middle of my Ironman, I hit a wall so hard that when I was cycling, I wish I had an epic failure in a tire or some vehicle would hit me. So that way I would have to call it quits because I was so badly injured that I couldn't continue on going. I hit that wall so hard that was my mindset. That's how dark my mind went. But what got me through it was not what I expected. Welcome to Why the Fuck Not, the podcast where we dive into those moments where you have doubt, you have fear, and explore the mindset of pushing through these moments and say, why the fuck not? I'm Lucky de Jesus, I'm your host. Each week, I'll be sharing my stories of overcoming obstacles, breaking through these self-imposing limitations, and just learning every single step of the way and sharing the lessons I've learned through my experiences. Whether if it's in fitness, business, or in life, it's all about taking that leap. Even when you're not sure of the outcome, you take a look at the challenge ahead of you and you say, why the fuck not? So let me set up this story here. And I've never done an Ironman, and honestly, I've never done a triathlon before. I did get my trainer in, and he was helping me out. So big shout out to Tony, the trainer. He helped me through so much through my training, helped me overcome the fear of swimming in the ocean when I never really thought I had a fear of swimming in the ocean. With that said, I signed up for an Ironman out in Waco, Texas. And I initially was looking at the registration and I was like, oh, maybe I should do the Ironman or half Ironman or the full. And I looked at the prices and I'm like, you know what? For the cost of registration for the half, I might as well do the full. And it was kind of that why the fuck not moment, right? It's like, if I'm going to spend this much, might as well spend this much. To me, it wasn't that big of a deal. I think it was a total of 8 to 10 months of total training where I was prepping myself for the Ironman. And I knew it was one of those things that I couldn't just hop on the bike and just go. I actually had to take it seriously. Long story short, and I'm sure I'm going to dive back into the Ironman because there's so many lessons in just doing that in itself. But I completed my swim in under 2 hours. And again, I've never swam in that long distance, but I just got into a flow, so I'm ecstatic. I was just so excited that I finished my swim in under 2 hours, and I know with my cycling background, I'm gonna do well. I'm ecstatic, I'm pumped. I'm like, let's get this going. So I jumped on the bike, just riding, enjoying the moment of, hey, I'm actually doing an Ironman. I can't believe it. Not a lot of people do things like this, and I'm gonna be so proud of myself when I finish and cross that finish line and I hear the announcer say, Lucky de Jesus, you are an Ironman. About 50 miles in with the excitement of the swim and looking forward to the finish line, my legs blew out. They were done. 50 miles in, they were done. And I still had to do not 100 miles, but 113 miles. So 63 more miles to go. It was later in the day, and out in Waco, Texas, it was just windy. Every turn I made, I encountered headwind. No matter which direction I went, it was headwind. And my legs were tired. I was getting sick of my nutrition. And it was getting to a point where my mind was going so dark to the point of, hey, I hope I have a big failure down this hill so that way they have to medically evac me or take me to the hospital because I'm not about to quit. I want to quit, but I'm not going to say I quit. So I want something crazy to happen, either a mechanical failure, a car to hit me, whatever it be. I just want it to stop. This pain sucks. I can't keep moving, and I have so many more miles to go and a marathon. And it was a struggle. I was getting sick of the nutrition. Every time I drank my water bottle, I was ready to throw up. I was just done. Fast forward, I finished the bike ride. My legs were wobbly. Put on my shoes, and I'm like, all right, marathon, let's go. I've done a half. I can do a full. I start running, or I try to start running, and I realize my legs are not working. They would not run. My brain's saying, hey, we're running, but my legs were saying, absolutely not today. And dread just fell all over me. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna finish this. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, I know I'm not the fastest on the bike. I just don't want to get pulled and say I didn't complete an Ironman. And me crossing that finish line slowly started to fade. I did not see myself cross that finish line. I started seeing myself get to the point where they're pulling me off the race because I've surpassed the amount of time allotted to complete an Ironman. So I was just in this deep depression during the Ironman. And in my head, I'm like, who the fuck does this stuff? This is stupid. My legs hurt. I've been at this for so long. Why am I doing this? I hate this. I can't do this anymore. That was my mindset. It was so dark that like, I wish I had a cramp. I wish something happened to me. They had to pull me out medically. And it just sucked. And I don't know how many miles I was already into it. My legs slowly started working back up, but it wasn't at least until 5 or 6 miles in. I was running, I think I hit about 13 miles and I was struggling. I was running as long as I could and then I was walking, but I was still moving. Still in this really dark, deep regret in my head. One of the volunteers was like, you're doing it. You're gonna be an Ironman. Keep going, keep going. And just something clicked. I'm like, I'm actually doing it. She said, I'm gonna be an Ironman. And I looked to another person who was running right next to me. And I can see the struggle in their face. I'm like, hey, keep going, because we're gonna be an Ironman. And all of a sudden I start to feel this energy come back, this excitement of me crossing that finish line and saying, hey, I'm gonna be an Ironman. And even right now, as I'm explaining this to you guys, I'm getting emotional because it was truly an emotional moment. The next aid stop, I looked at the volunteer before she can say anything to me. I said, hey, I'm gonna be an Ironman. And she's like, hell yeah, you are. She gave me a high five, gave me some chicken broth or whatever, chips. And I just kept running. I kept running faster. I felt like I was running faster. Next aid stop, they gave me some ice, tossed it in the back of my bib just to keep me cool. Every person that I saw along the way that I saw was struggling. I reached out and said, hey, keep on going. You've got this. You're gonna be an Ironman. I'll see you at the finish line. And that in itself, turning the dread of not seeing myself finish, but encouraging others to become an Ironman was a game changer. Being able to take that energy that you have and push it onto someone else and encourage someone else during their dark times will help you out tremendously. And even to this day, super emotional, trying to fight the tears back right now, trying to share the story with you. But that moment where I told people I'm gonna be an Ironman was a most emotional moment of my endurance career. And you could probably tell from my voice, it's super emotional. It's one of those things that's just changing. And as soon as I was getting closer, I'm like, here it is. I see the finish line. No one around me, it's just me and the finish line. I started running. I hear the announcer. I hear the crowds banging on the side of the track. Let's go, you can do this. And I cross that finish line. I see my family in the distance cheer me on. It was past midnight. And I hear the announcer go, lucky to Jesus, you are an Ironman. That was one of the most proudest moments because honestly, I did not know if I was gonna finish it or not. How dark your mind can go because you're in this predicament of everything hurts. How bad you don't want to do this, but you just keep pushing on. It was a big lesson for me, and I'm so glad I took that challenge and say, hey, you know what? I rode 100 miles. Let's do an Ironman. Why the fuck not? People thought I was crazy. But that was the biggest moment in my life, understanding being able to take your emotions and put it out to someone else. Positive emotion, encouraging other people around you will also help you through your journey. Whatever hardship you're going through, don't focus on you. Focus on someone else. Focus on helping them out. And in return, you're helping yourself out through your difficult time. I'd love to hear a story of your struggle, your time where you dove deep into your head and did not think you'd make it out, or went so dark that it kind of scared you. I'd love to hear that story and how you conquer that, because that's what this podcast is about, going deep into your mind and taking those moments of fear, uncertainty, still taking it head on, and also the lessons you learn from it. Thank you for listening to episode number 2 of Why the Fuck Not. If there's something in front of you that's scaring you, think to yourself, why the fuck not? Let's see what's on the other side. Have a good one.